Hey everybody, hope you're doing well on this fine day. It's gorgeous in Portland. Well, it's cloudy, but it's still gorgeous. And I wanted to say that there are two different kinds of people, it seems like, in this world that express themselves on not just YouTube or online places or forums, but it started out with literature, books, teachers, people who want to express themselves or express their ideas to people. Stuff that we do on YouTube, which is why we use it as an example. And it seems like there are two different types of people who are in that realm. There are the people who want to empower each other, the people who want to help one another to see their full potential and to rise into their own state, maybe their own Buddhahood, if you will, their own state of awareness. Folks that do what I do, which is basically I don't sit here and tell you how to live or particulars about the laws of living, but just give you ideas that I've learned through my research, that I've found some of them to be void and some of them to be valid, and share what I learn. So there's the group of us who like to share and express and try to empower one another. And then there's the other group, the darksiders, the ones who they know who they are, but their whole I guess their whole value system is based on bashing others, and it's really sad to see such loss of humanity over ego. It's ego tripping. And for example, there's one guy in particular who made a video about me. He made a few videos about me, and accused me of being a Satanist. He told people that I would kill them if they didn't agree with me. I mean, this is how delusional this guy is. He's completely insane. And I deal with people like that on a day-to-day basis. We meet them all the time. You don't tend to notice it as much when you meet them out in public because they can hide it better, People can act normal, but the truth comes out, I mean, obviously anyone who would accuse me of being a Satanist and saying that I would be a killer is obviously has some serious mental issues to contend with. But these folks are on the dark side. They're, I mean, I won't even represent them with a name because they're not worth it. The guy who made the video actually challenged me and said, "Why don't you make a response video?" No, that was his call out, because these people that feed on fear, they feed on negativity, they feed on aggression. And then they turn it around and try to make it sound like everybody else is the evil one. And we all know the type. I mean, there's plenty of them. They're usually the really extreme religious fanatics, but they don't seem to have a grip on self-empowerment. They think that a lot of them, that it's usually through a cause, a following that's really intense, that they think that this is the only way. And if you don't follow this, then you deserve to die. People who would say stuff about people's kids, their families. I mean, it's, if there is sin, it's the ultimate sin. And if there is evil, then it's the root of evil. So these people are the root of everything that's wrong with society. The one guy in particular is, I didn't even want to, make a video in response because of the fact that other people have already. And, when I looked at some of his other videos, I realized that they were all basically garbage. It was a bunch of rhymes, riddles, nonsense that has deluded him to the point where people think that he knows what he's talking about because he puts it in a format that sounds mysterious. But the truth is that when you look deeper, you see that most of the guy's videos, just like other people who also make videos against people, they're wrapped up in their own hatred, and they're really lost. They have really no grasp on reality other than to put others down in order to keep themselves promoted. And they're not worth the time. Now, there's two different kinds of videos in response to people. There's ones that are response to someone's videos of innocent, like this guy did. I'd never had any relation with this guy other than making a couple comments back and forth on videos, and then all of a sudden he attacks me out of the blue. I mean, but then there's the other videos that a lot of folks I know make about other people where it's a response to defend themselves. And that's okay. That's appropriate. I have nothing wrong with a response video against someone who's attacking someone personally. Guys like this individual in particular, he sits and tries to nitpick at stuff like, you know, talking about the way people raise their kids or this or that, how a person's wrong and they're satanic, they're evil. In his videos, he goes on to cuss and he's like, "Aren't you Carpo, you piece of shit?" And he's angry. I mean, he obviously has some serious resentment towards me. So I sat back and thought about it while I was at the beach. I was thinking, why is this guy so mad? You know, because I'm not one to dismiss a person outright just because of that. I had unsubscribed from him long ago, and I actually wouldn't have even known he'd made the videos if somebody hadn't pointed it out to me. My good old buddy AS, he's a good man, you know, archaic. He's got some great videos, and he does some fun stuff. He attends to the stuff that I'm not as into. Like, he can explain stuff to me, archaic symbolism that I'm not aware of, as far as you know, the history behind the meanings, the symbols, the terms, Luciferianism. When I mentioned that, you know, he could explain it and express it back to its roots. All these different ideas, and that's the beauty, is being able to share ideas in an entire community of people who can share ideas. So it's funny when I look at some of my videos, I see since I'm trying to be the A personality type who's empowering people to do their own thing, because I have no way to tell people to live. I just do it the way I do it, and you do it the way you do it, as long as it's not harming anyone. And I notice that usually my comments are good. They're positive. People are happy, people are nice, people are courteous. But then I go back to his videos and it's just a bunch of negativity, like, "Oh yeah, you're right. These people need to be burned. These people are this. These people are that." It shows the type of people that are attracted to certain video makers. And the type of people that I like to attract to my videos are people who care about one another. And, you know, anyone who's going to accuse a humanitarian being a Luciferian, or a Satanist, sorry, is, I don't even really think they have a word for it. It's just an idiot. It's one of the idiots I've talked about. Really, I mean, there's quite a few of them. So, for those of you who are avid YouTubers who like to look through all the videos and look through the information, ask yourself a question. What does a person have to gain by what they're doing? I'm not going to kill anyone because they don't agree with me. Don't worry, I won't. I swear. But really look at the types of people that people are attracting, because there's an entire crowd of folks who are out there just to disturb, to annoy, and to empower themselves through their strong ego trips. And you can see through them like a veil. Like the guy in particular that I'm talking about, I mean, he's clear as glass. I mean, if you do a little bit of psychological research into psychology to see why people do the things they do, you know, if somebody makes a comment that says, "Oh, you're a stupid bastard and you're a waste of time in society and you should just die," you're part of the problem of the society. So it's like, basically the person's projecting all of their shortcomings onto you. I had a person, the same guy actually, tell me that philosophy was like the root of all the problems. That basically what I ascertained from that was that, or he said, billions of people have died because of people philosophizing this and that. And I said to myself, I'm saying this is a person who says that thinking is a big problem. So you know, guys like that should stick to making videos about movies and television because it's what they're good at. But when a person tries to, like, ask a person a valid question, they won't respond. Like, you know, the guy didn't respond to any of my questions I asked. He would respond to other people, but he didn't respond to a single one of my questions with any integrity or value. It was curse words and anger and hatred, and it's misdirected hostility. It's the root of why our society is going wrong. But here's the funny part. These people who do this, they won't even express their own points of view. They really don't say much at all. Like that guy speaks in riddles. He talks about all this stuff about McDonald's and Grimace, and he tries to compare everything as archetypes, but he doesn't even identify them as such. It's more of a mysterious aura with the way he talks, and people are fooled into it. These are charlatans. These people have been around for millennia. These are the folks who got people suckered into some of the dumbest ideas in history. These are the folks that got people convinced that their segment, their sect of religion was the right one and everybody else was wrong. But still, they never seem to express any of their own points of view. They speak in riddles, they speak in rhymes, and they have absolutely no purpose or direction. But that whole thing is just fine and dandy. So a person wants to express themselves in riddles and talk about television and make fun of other people. That's their business. A person wants to talk about God and Christianity, that's fine. A person wants to talk about atheism, that's fine. But when a person goes on the actual attack of another person, like this guy did to me, it shows a lack of character, a lack of values, and a lack of integrity, and a general disregard for fellow man. And usually this is rooted in a deep-seated fear, something that came from childhood. This fellow claims that he was born all-knowing, that he has known the meaning of life and he can see through the illusion since birth. And I've always laughed because every time I've asked, he's never come up with a single answer as to what he knows. Nothing. There's not been a single, But if when somebody else makes a comment, like say, against what a comment was against him, then he'll talk to that person. But he refuses to answer any legitimate questions. And I think it's a person who says that they're born knowing and that they've known since childhood probably had a traumatic childhood. Because I can't imagine a person like him was raised in any decent family atmosphere. I'm going to guess that he probably had an estranged dad, and he's probably closer to his mom, if anything. Perhaps grandparents. Now that's just my assumption, see? And I could be completely wrong. But psychology shows that people have certain deep-rooted fears and deep-rooted anxieties from their youth that carry over into adulthood if they ever make it to adulthood. But I guess my only point is just to avoid these people because they're not really worth the time. They're not worth the time to make a video about. They're not worth the time to talk about. I'm only making this video because I see too many people following these people like lamb to the slaughter, and anybody who's following a person out of negativity is wasting away their time. And it's up to each one of us to kind of sort through the BS and be the best person that we can be. And if that's the wrong way to be, then I don't want to be right. So, namaste.